Alright, so we have gone through the hierarchical structure of the collection API, and these are some main classes that are available inside the list interface. And one more thing, if you know the length of the array, right, if the length is fixed, then you can just go for the static array because this is much faster when compared to the classes that you are seeing now inside the list interface. Okay, so because this needs to traverse through the interface and its implementation is much slow when compared to the static array. So this is faster, and if you know the size of the array, then you can choose the static array. Otherwise, you can go any of the classes that are available inside the list interface, and this has its own implementation, and it has its advantages and disadvantages, and based on that requirement that we are having in our code, we can choose any of the classes, and we will go through one by one now, and I will create a simple method here. Okay, so now let me create a method, and I will name it as list example. Okay, so first we will see the vector class. So I will create an object for this class. So I will create a class object for a class, so that we have seen in our previous tutorials. And you need to import this from the Java util. So okay, so that package you need to import it, and how to add the values to this object. You have an add method in vector, and you can add the values inside that one. Okay, so now this 10 will get added to this object, and it will get stored in the 0th index. And also you can add more values to it, so I'm adding some more values, and I will add one string also here. Okay, so let me add a string value, and I will also add a double value. So there are four values inside this object right now on this vector, and for traversing, right, so I mean for iterating it, you can use the normal for loop, and there are several options to iterate through and list, so that we'll see one by one. And this object has a size method. Okay, so this gives the size of this list. So if it has around 0 to 3, right, so the size will be 4 now, and you can increment it so the similar way how we used to iterate through a list. Okay, and if you want to print it, then you can use a method called get, and you can pass the index inside this one. So if you pass the index as I, then each index it will traverse one by one, and it is going to display the value that is available inside that index, correct. And here we will call this method now in the main method. Okay, so if I run this, you can see the output, whatever the values that we have added to this object, right. So this got iterated using the normal for loop, and using the get method, we are getting each index value, and we are displaying here. Okay, all right, so this is one way of adding the values, correct. So what we'll do now, I will comment out this one, and you have an add all method. Okay, and inside this, you can pass in an array format. Okay, so let me show you that, arrays dot as list, and inside this I can pass the values how we passed it one by one, right. So it depends on our requirement, so how we need to add it. Mostly in the real time you don't want to add it here in the list directly. Okay, so I'll show you that one. So now we have added the same values using the add all method that is available inside the vector class. And now if you are trying to run this one, see the same output you are getting here, right. So this is one option, and even you can pass it directly inside the vector. Okay, and now if you run this one, the same output you are going to get it, and it's going to display the values that are available inside that object. So these are different ways actually that we can assign a value to a vector object or array list or linked list. Okay, everything is going to behave in the same way only, right. So there's nothing going to change, but the values how you need to add to that object, that you can do it in different ways like this. And mostly, right, say for example, you will not be able to, you will be getting the values something like this. Okay, so for example, in this website you have the state drop down, right. So these are the group of data, so you have the state group values. So this is the states of USA, right. So all these values, you can store it inside a vector, or you can store it inside an array list, or you can even store it inside a linked list. That depends on your requirement. Okay, so how you will get it from the API, you will get these values and they will store it inside this list classes, and they will be accessing it in any other future methods that is required to get these values. Okay, so that's how in the real time they will be using it. But for an example, we are adding some values directly here, but mostly in the real time you will get the values from either from an API or some other external tool methods. You can also get it from a JSON, or in Selenium automation framework. What they will do, they will get all these values and they will store it inside a list, and they will iterate through that one, and you can access and verify these values. So that's how they used to do it in automation framework. Okay, and now we have this seen one option to iterate through the list, right? So now we will go through the enhance for loop. So how we will do it? So this is kind of an object, right? So we have to create an object itself here, value, and pass this list here. Okay, since it does not have any data type specific, right? So any data type is not specific here, because integer we have, string we have, float we have. So you can you have to create a variable for an object. And now here just pass the value. And if you are running this, okay, let me put a line here. Okay, and I have added a line here, and if I run this program, you can see it displays the same output. Okay, so this is one more way of iterating through an list. And let me add this line again here, and we have one more interface called iterator, and even using that you can able to iterate through a list. So this iterator interface, you can use it, create a reference, and this object, okay, so this is the list, right? Dot you have a method called iterator here, and just import it from the Java util. And let's use the while loop here, so that it will check using this object. You have a method called as next, so it will check whether the values are available inside this object or not. If it is there, then if the boolean condition is true, then it goes inside, and it will print the value. And here also you have a method called next. Okay, so the next value will be displayed here. So this is one way of iterating through a list. So let me run this program, and here you can see the output. It displays the same values here. So these are some ways that we have to iterate through a list. And here you can see there is a warning it is throwing, right? Type safety. So this object that we have created for the vector, right? It's not type safety. Okay. And when you go through this one, right? So let me go to this class, vector class, and here you can see. So this is the vector class. It implements the list interface. Okay. So as I said, the vector class is implementing the list interface, correct? So that's what you are seeing it here, and here you can see you have to pass some elements here. So they are passing a param, right? Type of component elements. So this gives you a type safety actually, that I will show you here. So inside an angular bracket, you have to specify the type. Okay, so you should not give the primitive type, you have to give the wrapper class. If integer means integer, long means long, so that's how you have to give. Don't give it as int or something. Okay, so we are going to store only the integer value now inside this object. That's what we are trying to mention. So this is called as an generics. Okay, so this is also a vast topic. You can create some customized generics also. So for now, right now we will use the Java allowed generics. So integer we are passing it here. So now this object will get store only the integer values inside this. Okay, and here you can see the error is still there. So just you need to specify here as well. Okay, now you can see the error is been still throwing here, right? Because now we have specified the generics as integer, right? But here we have some kind of string and float values as well. So if you enter it as a integer, then the error will move off. Okay, it's gone now. And this one you can specify or you cannot specify, just but you have to give the angular brackets, otherwise it will throw a warning. You have to specify at least an angular bracket when initializing the object for the vector class, because in the left side you have given, right, so it will come to know that this is for the integer type. Okay, and even if you are not passing here, okay, let me remove this one. Let me use this option, and here as well you can see it is throwing an error, right. So now if you change it to 30 and 34 an integer value, then the error will go off. Okay, and if you want to pass a string, then just pass it as string here. Then you have to change all the values as string, so this gives you a type safety, and the generics that you are passing, based on that it will decide what value needs to be added inside this object. Okay, so let us give it as integer now, and yeah, let me put this down. Now I will create a reference for the interface. Okay, so that we can create it, right, either for an parent class, or can create it for an interface also. So this vector implements the list interface. So I will create an interface for the list, and here you need to import it from the Java util. So once you import, the error will go off, because you can create a reference for the interface that it is implementing, right. So here you can see the vector implements the list interface. Okay, so you can create a reference, but you will be able to access only the methods that are available inside the list. If something needs some methods that you require from the vector class, that will not be done here. So that's the one problem we have. Say for example, if you want to get the capacity, initial capacity that has been allocated for this vector, okay, for this object, that is only available inside the vector, right. So that capacity method you cannot get it here. For example, if you are changing to vector, right, you can see the capacity method will be available. So always create a reference in which you want to access those methods. Okay. So if you have a method that is needed from the vector class, then you have to create the reference for the vector class. If you want methods that are available in a list interface, then you can use directly list. Okay. Also, you can give it as collection as well. Say for example, just create a reference for the collection interface, and yeah. So you have to import it from the Java util, and once you import, the error will move off, and here you can see it is throwing an error in the 37th line, right. So dot get index is not available, right, because this collection interface, right, that does not has this get method. It is available either in list or in vector. So that's what I have been telling you. So if you want to access this get method, then don't create the reference for the collection interface. Okay, and here you can see in the list, this is an interface. Okay, so you can see the vector is a class, and that implements the list interface, and when you come to list, it is an interface that extends the collection interface, and if you come to collection, that is an interface that extends the iterable. Okay, so that's what we have seen here. So collection extends iterable, list extends collection, and vector implements list. Okay, so this is what we have seen in the hierarchy chart, and now this error we have to move, get it down, right. So let's change it to vector itself. Okay, all right. So this is for the vector that we have seen in the list interface, and now let see about the array list. Okay, so all the functionalities more or less it is same. Okay, so there is not going to be any change when you compare with the vector, array list and linked list. Only during the implementation they have done some custom optimization, so that differences that we will see separately. But now for seeing the array list, right, I just replace and the same thing, you have to import it from the Java util. Okay, and once you import it, you can see the error has been gone, and the same add method is also available inside this array list. Okay, for example, let me add some values. See here, it now comes from the array list. Okay, so this method is also available, and let me add it as 40 here. Okay, let me add it as 40, and if I run this one, you're going to get the same output. All this for loops and iterator things will do the iteration, and you can see the values are getting displayed for the array list as well. Okay, and the same one for the linked list as well. So if you want to add some values to the linked list, group of values to a linked list, then just create an object for the linked list class, and here also you need to import it from the Java util. And once you are done that, you can see that is also available in the linked list as well. So we will add one more value here. You can see the add method, it comes from the linked list class, right? So this is how you can use the list, and if you run this one, you will get the same output. And all these methods, this size, get, everything is available in each classes that are available in the list interface. Okay, either vector or alias linked list, everywhere you have the add method, add all method, size method, and get method. Everything is available inside this classes. Okay, so you can use anything, but they will have some kind of separate methods also as per their implementation. That we will see it when we are seeing the differences between all these classes. Okay, so you can see the output has been printed now properly, right? So this is what about the linked list.